Today we're going to be going over a trade where I was able to make around $1,200. This was SPY puts, and I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what I saw, what I told the chat, the setup, and I'm going to be showing you guys a live recording of the level 2 and exactly why I took this trade. So this was around a 7.3R planned trade. We locked in around 6.7R, which is really good. These are the types of plays I like to call an A+ setup. This wouldn't have been an A+, this would have been, I'd consider, a B+, just because we weren't playing a direct supply or demand zone. It was a demand zone flip. So that's the main reason. The only reason that this isn't a C+ setup or anything like that is because we planned it properly. We had a really tight stop. It was very low risk and very high reward, as you can see from the R multiple. So let's get started. At 11:56 is when I started to open my position. I opened my position with a stop above 415. Now, you're probably wondering, why don't you stop out? It went to 415.01 because it wicked right back. It went there for like a second and wicked right back, telling me, hey, this wants to continue down. So I was playing puts in this scenario, and first target was this low break here, and you can see we got that, but then we started to see some bearish structure form, almost like a bear flag, and then I thought we'd continue, so I held on to the play. So for these contracts, I kept a stop loss at $2. You could see here, I bought them at $2.12 and sold them at 2.97 and 2.85. Only 15 contracts because I really wasn't expecting to size in a little heavier. Midday, this is right before lunch, so I sized in light. I'd kept a mental stop at $2, and my price target for these contracts was around $2.5 to $3. And I think I said in the chat, I'm going to start to scale out at 2.5 to 3. This wasn't a conventional alert. It did go 40% though, but I'm going to break down how I took the trade and exactly, what I was looking for when I took the trade. So starting off, here is me in the Discord. SPY short here doesn't look too bad with a stop over 415. Low risk, high reward here. You guys can see I post that there. And then this was the setup I was watching. I was watching the supply that turned into demand that looked like it was turning back into supply. And the reason I didn't size in too heavy and I actually took this this setup was because I knew there were sellers there. And you're probably wondering, Shinobi, how are there sellers there if that zone flipped 3 different times? First of all, it's 415 level. 415 level, if I pull up to the chart here, you're going to see here I color coded it for you guys so you can see when it was supply, when it turned into demand, when it turned back into supply. So the reason I really liked the setup was because it was at 415, a psychological number. Now 415 is obviously going to have a little bit more sellers than any other level just because it's such a whole number, like 410, 415, 420. You can see those are the levels you really want to play. So here we had a supply zone here. We never really got to it, so there were still sell orders sitting at the spot. People shorted this level here, correct? They shorted this level here, and then when it came back here and it gapped above, when it touched back at this level here, those people that were buying here, the people that bought here, were the ones who covered their shorts from this area before. So this buying pressure was also because we gapped up, and then when it pulled back, it was them trying to get out at break even because it was hitting their stop loss, so the shorts were covering as well. And then when it broke down, the people who were buying here, they had their stop losses set at break even as well. The market makers, whoever caused this really big imbalance to happen, they had their stop losses here and their sell orders getting ready to fill at 415 because that's where they filled their buy orders. That's where they want to fill their sell orders since the stock is going against them. So it pulled back into this zone, and this was the candle I started to see reject. I saw this rejection here. I started to see this reject. This is where I wanted to really take my short position. So you guys can see in the chat, I posted, I'm like 415 stop. This is a very nice short. And you guys could see, here's me. I was talking about my small position, SPY short, and it started to work out in our favor. I wanted to see us make new lows of days, and we filled this gap in again for the second time. Now, what really gave me confirmation was Bookmap. And now I know this is going to look very intimidating for people who don't know what it is, but this is basically level 2 and time and sales visualized onto the chart. So these green bubbles, these green and red bubbles stand for market orders that are marketed. And these are the market orders. These up here, this heat map, this is level 2 pretty much. So what you're seeing over here, this is what this is. Level 2 just visualized in the form of a heat map. So you guys can see at 4:15 I saw we had a lot of sellers lined up at this area. All right, so I entered at 11:56. This is 11:58, so I'm gonna move back just a tad bit to 11:56, and then I'm gonna play it from here. This is what I was watching. This is what I saw. We had a huge sell order set up at this 4:15 level. I'm like, okay, it's 414.9. I can take a short here and then keep a tight stop above 415.12, 415. I'm gonna enter closer to the money expiry, or closer to the money contracts, and so my loss wouldn't be too bad. You guys can see here, look at how well these sell orders lined up. Right, the market did not want to go past 415. These orders were all sitting here, and that's what I noticed. So I'm gonna hit play so you guys can see how the market reacted to that area. So I'm gonna actually speed it up for you guys a little bit too. So you'll see big market orders coming in at the bid. You could see 900, almost 1,000 shares, almost 1,000 there, 400 again almost. They were hitting this, and they did not want to see it go above 415. Before it even hit those 415 orders, we were seeing big sell orders come in. So I'm going to make this a little slower. And you guys will see, once the stock came down lower, the people who had their sell orders at 415 started to bring them lower, trying to get filled faster, because it looked like 415 was never going to hit. And then you guys can see we start to move up. Those orders, they would move down and then move back up, but they never left that 415 area. And you guys could see here, once we came up here, huge market sell, 1,500 shares at the pretty much its top at 414.95-ish, 0.93. So this is all while this was happening. SPY was moving down. If I do the candlestick bar, you guys are going to be able to see those candlesticks on the 1 minute, how they formed. Right, so this was a big red candle that got bought back up down here, and this was a green candle that shot down. So you guys are going to be able to see the candles form as well. So look at that, the 1 minute candle. This is why I love this Bookmap thing so much. You see all these orders stacked. You saw how it was a green candle when it came up. You saw those sell orders fill on level 2. You saw those sell orders come down from that 415 area, and you see that candle form red, right? And then you guys can see how that works out. Those orders never really left that area. And then new 1 minute's formed, and then you'll see it came to that 415 area. Those orders just moved up a little bit, but in the end, there was still very heavy selling coming into play with this doji coming into play, or not doji, this wick at the top coming into play. We started to see buyers step in as well, but my stop was above 415. Unless I broke 415, I wouldn't have sold. And you guys would have seen here, this didn't even break above 415. 415 was my stop loss, and I was following it. And this white line here is VWAP, by the way. So it was holding VWAP on the 1 minute for a little bit. Gonna continue to play it. You guys will see it got to 415.02. It got to 415.02, but you see how quickly it wicked back off? Didn't even give me a chance. So right here you would see this guy tried taking out those sellers. There's a 2,600 share buy at the market at 2,600 shares, trying to break past that 415 wall. The seller soaked it in, and they trapped that buyer. That buyer could not break the wall. They trapped them by moving their orders up a little bit. They trapped them, and that when he bought here, he's obviously going to get stopped out soon. He would have to sell his shares that he just bought, and the stock would continue down, because 2,600 is a large amount of shares as well, especially on SPY as well. So you will see that starts to reject heavy as well. I'm just going to let it play through, and then you guys can watch for yourselves what happens. Those 415 orders never left. I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit here now too. 415 orders never left. You'll see. If you guys are confused, just watch this here. 415 never gave up. 415 was always there. And those orders really never got filled, and they just kept pushing the stock down. And there you go. We're down to 414.41. Huge red candle here, huge sellers. You guys can see these sellers that were all the way at 415, those same shares are getting laddered down. They're bringing them down, trying to get filled. They're not trying to get filled, they're just trying to bring them down. Hold the stock down, and you will see they're following SPY all the way down. And then you could see huge red candles. It just completely stair steps down. And that's the main reason I even decided to enter that play, is just because I saw those sellers at 415. I saw how stubborn they were and they didn't want to move from that area. And you could see how well, that played out, especially with my thesis. Now, I wouldn't have taken this trade if it was just my zone, and I definitely wouldn't have taken this trade if it was just the book map, right? I had two areas of confluence that checked each other out. I already had a bearish bias because my demand turned into supply. I saw those orders at 415. I had a very tight stop loss. My stop loss, it was one of those plays where it's either working or it's not. It's either going to work here or it's not, and it luckily worked out. And then another thing was the stock was already in a downtrend. SPY was already trending down. It pulled back. I got a nice short here. Bookmap level 2 showed me that there's orders sitting here. I saw those sellers aggressively hitting the bid on Bookmap, and then I saw this starting to continue down, reject this area. This was my stop loss. Very low risk, very high reward. And here's the proof of the trade. You guys can see my running P&L. Never hit my stop loss. If I was risking around $180 to make around $1,300. The most I was down was $60. And then you guys could see from there, the play just went my way. We didn't really get 1,300. We got 1,200. But here are my fills. Hopefully you can see them there. This play took around, I'd say, 25 minutes. So I made around $1,200 in 25 minutes. I can never complain about that. Even though we were lighter size, we should have made more. But yeah, I filled at 212, sold 285 and 295. I added 15 all at once because my stop loss was there. I didn't really give myself room to add, because if I did, that means if I got stopped out, I'd look to add more, and that's not what I was trying to do. 212, added 15 contracts, scaled 1/3 at 285, sold all at 297. And you guys will see my sell was at 1218. Or not 12, yeah, 1218. So if I go back to trading view, 1218, I sold on this candle right here, this red one right here. And you can see it had a short-term bounce after that, continued lower after. If I would have held, I would have made a lot more, but I wasn't going to hold through this drawdown, and this is pretty much just chop after that. These drawbacks would ruin premiums, so I was happy with getting out there and saving myself from a headache. But yeah, that was my trade recap for today. If you guys have any questions, leave a like and comment down below your question. And if you guys enjoy this new green screen setup, let me know. I got it yesterday. I know it's a little fuzzy over here, but I think it's nicer so you guys can see my face more while I'm talking, and I can like point things to the charts and stuff so you guys can see. I think it's pretty cool. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want one-on-one coaching, one-on-one mentorship, I'm going to be dropping a mastermind at the end of August. Limited seats, limited applications will be accepted. You have to go fill out a questionnaire in the first link in the description below. If you guys want more in-depth classes like this every single day and one-on-one help, that's the way to go. So make sure you check out the first link in the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.